First, she's got the pickup ride here on the 6, Sound of Jura, who goes around as a nice chance.
Former Lindsay Park galloper, now with Anne Yates, who showed some ability, particularly in the second and third starts last preparation at Geelong and Swan Hills. Had a couple of jump outs. Didn't mind the latest one. Thought it was an okay effort late over the 1,000 metres, finishing third at Bendigo. So wouldn't surprise at all in a moderate race to see Sound of Jura right in the finish.
Yeah, speaking of battlers, good of you to cross over, Jimmy. Gunboat 360 into 260. Joe Bowditch isn't battling. He rode a double yesterday at Benella. Rides for Matty Ellerton here. Wire Walker 280. Pinions a little bit divided. Both have had support. 460 for Courting Emily, the first starter. It's an Intello. He's a nice horse. He's 4-year-old in the book, but 3-year-old because he's bred to overseas time. And he's the first starter, 460 in the Jayco Jerry Ryan colours. And Sound of Jura, the local, now with the Yates clan. Safi Osborne on top is 650, and everything else is massive odds. They're the only 4 in the market. Moving them in well for the bet 365 maiden. Running 5 minutes late here with that horse having to be reshod. And there was nowhere to hide in the shade over there for horses, riders and the staff, but almost got them loaded in. Starter goes up. They're ready. 4th of the day. Off now. And Gunboat came out well from the inside. Leads Ralph's Bay and Mighty Mongoose. Gold Sweet, Wire Walker. Deeper was Sound of Jura. 2 lengths further back to Pin Drop. Courting Emily goes back to second last, and Pop the Cork was the last one. Going down the back of the course, and Gunboat elects to keep them out here. The son of Omaha Beach in the contract racing colours leads the local Ralph's Bay by a length and a tail. Third, the inside was Mighty Mongoose, and Sound of Jura was able to work over into the 1-1 in front of Pin Drop. They were followed further back then to Gold Sweet, who is in company there with the Wire Walker. Second last was Courting Emily, and last was Pop the Cork. They've left the back straight astern here, swinging on down the side now, and Gunboat still makes play from Ralph's Bay. Third, the inside Mighty Mongoose, 600 a gallop from Sound of Jura. Wire Walker looks to be travelling okay. Courting Emily trying to get onto his back, then Pin Drop Gold Sweet. Pop the Cork hard ridden at the rear on the home turn. Bowditch hasn't got too busy yet on Gunboat. He swings in, balances him up for the run home and gets another length on Ralph's Bay. Sound of Jura. Now Wire Walker's unleashing a good run with it, and further back in the race to Courting Emily. Gunboat 200 metres to go. Sound of Jura trying hard to get on terms. Wire Walker can't go on. Courting Emily runs to third. Gunboat the leader. Sound of Jura trying to pick it back. Courting Emily is rocketing home, but Gunboat clings on and wins from Courting Emily. Third placing goes to Sound of Jura. Good effort first up, and I'm not sure about fourth. Wire Walker was wobbling at the end. Pin Drop and Ralph's Bay run underneath him, followed by Gold Sweet, and then Mighty Mongoose and Pop the Cork. Gunboat looks to have just clung on here. Not too much to speak of, but Bowditch continues his good run. He had a couple of winners yesterday, the former South Australian veteran. Bay Gilding 3s by Omaha Beach for contract racing and the Swallows. Got a feeling both of these horses might have come through the Trevenson Park system and done their education. Courting Emily is the son of Intello. Harry Coffey for the Lindsay Park boys. And Sound of Jura, the new local, Anne Yates and Safi Osborne's just missed out in the middle. 8, 1, 6 and 7. The interim numbers here, 8, 1, 6 and 7. 130.59. There's a lot to like about these Omaha Beach horses. Short head by a long neck, a short head by a long neck. And this Omaha Beach Gunboat has got in. Of course, he is trained by Matty Ellerton, who's had a pretty rough 12 months, and he's only got one runner to go after this. They backed Gunboat as if it was unbeatable. It's just clung in to win, and Sammy's got a good little interview coming up for us, I reckon.
Karen, an emotional time for you. You've been... This is the second last runner. You couldn't have scripted this much better.
No, definitely not. It's been great.
And you've been with Maddie a long time now.
Yes.
Tell us when you first started with him.
Well, when David Hall went to Hong Kong, Maddie needed someone because Maddie was taking a fair few of David's over. So I said I'd help for a couple of weeks, and I've been there ever since.
20 years later, you're still here, Karen. It's a great story. It's been an emotional 6 months for the stable. How have you managed to keep it together?
Oh, just working hard, and everyone's put in, and just, you know, help supporting Maddie.
And this horse, I know you've got another runner on Wednesday, but this is a lovely way for Maddie to finish off what is going to be a little break. We're not sure he's finishing off permanently, but he's going to have a break.
For his health, he's just not quite there and needs the rest. But he's been getting up every morning and going to the track and watching them work, then goes home.
Would you like to send him a message and the other people who've been helping?
Oh, just thank you, and it's a great result, and everyone will be happy at home.
Well done, Karen. Go and Gary.
Thank you.
Karen Oakford, his strappy here today. She's been with Maddie Allerton for 20 years. There would be some great stories. Maddie's had a huge career. I think there's about 15 Group 1s from memory across his training journey. And, of course, many of these coming in the contract racing colours as well. So a fitting, not quite finale because there is a runner coming on Wednesday, but a fitting way to close out this stanza of his training career. It's been a long one, and we wish him all the best and the family with his health battles. He's had a difficult time of it of late, and hopefully the horses have been part of his recuperation, getting him out of bed and getting him to the races. And no doubt Joe Bowditch is going to have a big smile on his face being part of this story as well, because it's a nice way for Matty to finish.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Obviously one of the last chances I'm going to get to ride for Matt, so nice to go out a winner. Just another masterclass of how good of a horse trainer he is. The horse was just beautifully placed in a race he could win, having his second run, so kudos to Matt.
That winning pace couldn't have come up much quicker though.
No, he wanted to float a little bit. He's a horse that's sort of taken a little bit of time. He had quite a few jump outs. He had sort of 4 or 5 jump outs leading into his first start, just because he's been so green, and done a little bit of work with the horse and known quite well. Second up today, like the penny's starting to drop a little bit.
Where do you think he might end up?
Well, I'm not too sure. It's a bit hard to say. A bit hard to put a ceiling on him at the moment because he's so big and raw. Everything he's doing, it's just his ability, you know. So once he fine-tunes himself, I'm sure he'll go on to better things.
Right on, and good to be part of this story.
Yeah, very nice, and just want to wish Matt and Leah all the best in the future going forward.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful story there. Gunboat getting the victory in race number 4 for Matty Allerton. I think he's second last runner before he steps away from training. Whether he comes back to the sport, I'm not sure, but we know he's had a pretty turbulent 6 months. So regardless of what happens with his runner on Wednesday, nice result here.
Yeah, very much so, JT. And you can see what it means to the staff and people associated with Matty that, have been a big part of his story and quite an emotional victory there. So that was great to see. And well done to Joe Bowditch because, look, there wasn't a whole lot of quality exposed form in this race. So Joe, aboard the horse with some serious upside, thought, well, I'll just put him on the speed and give him absolutely every opportunity to win the race, and that's what he did. Sound of Jura has run really nicely. First half of the Anne Yates stable, 1 out, 1 back, loomed into the race and kept taking ground off the winner. And I think probably the obvious one to follow is Courting Emily, who got onto the back of Wire Walker, and Wire Walker's run was short-lived. Maybe he's a better horse on speed, Wire Walker, but he's testing the patience of his backers. Looks as though it's going to be the first 2 fighting out the finish there in both Gunboat and Sound of Jura. But what a nice performance on debut by Courting Emily, who, based off its breeding, JT, you touched on it earlier, you would think is only going to be better suited at 2,000 metres plus. So probably it's one we can follow out of the meeting and the race going forward. With a little caveat on that, is you'd like to see it step up in trip. Yeah, the son of Intello, watch his development with interest. But all honours with Gunboat, Matt Allerton and Joe Bowditch, as well as David Moody with Contract Racing, team up to take race number 4. Halfway through this Bendigo card, 4 more to go. On the other side, we might turn our attention to another upcoming feature race in Victoria. It's building nicely, the Supernova.